Welcome, everyone. I really want to talk today about what I call the great deception that's taking place. The great deception. What do I mean by the great deception? It's very easy to call out someone like Soros, right? It's very easy to call out an open fascist. It's very easy to call out the Clintons. That's easy. It's very easy to call out Fauci. Agreed? Any moron can do that. But what's harder to call out is the people who call out Soros and Fauci, but essentially do the actions that those guys do. And case in point is Elon Musk. Elon Musk, to me, epitomizes the great deception. Here's a guy, I was the only one to call Elon Musk out over the last 6-7 months. Because when we use the science of systems, which everyone learns in our movement, you don't see things as left or right. You don't get lost by following one person here, another person, but you use the systems approach. And when you use the systems approach, you don't get deceived. It's very easy to see that you have to look at his actual actions. Elon Musk gets all of his money from SpaceX. Elon Musk gets all of his money for Tesla from government grants. SpaceX gets its money from government, 5.7 billion, same with Tesla, and same, frankly, with Twitter. He's a government front man. It's sort of right in your face. So the great deception that's taking place right now, the elites actually tell you to your face, we are screwing you openly. And they have brainwashed people to say, oh, really? Okay, but I'm going to forgive that. And they make up some reason. No different than if someone lived with an alcoholic partner who comes and beats the hell out of you. They actually just beat you. But then you say, oh, he did that to me because he had a hard day at work. Okay? So this brainwashing has taken place. And to me, it's a very powerful brainwashing. All right, before we go on, I want to invite each of you to come to our next open house for Truth, Freedom, Health. I personally host the open house every Thursday at 11 a.m. EST and then again at 8 p.m. EST. You'll learn about Truth, Freedom, Health, which is a movement, a platform, as well as a community and much more. And we are dedicated to raising your consciousness through education, theory, and action practice. You'll learn how to think beyond left and right, pro and anti, so you may start to see things as they truly are and become a force for real and lasting change in your community. Again, to join us, simply RSVP at vashiva.com/orientation. You'll meet lots of great people from across the world. Again, it's every Thursday at 11 a.m. EST and again at 8 p.m. EST. Simply RSVP at vashiva.com/orientation. Be the light. Now let's go back to our program. So if you go online, when I was starting to expose Musk with just bare facts, where did he get his money? SpaceX, 5.7 billion. Where did that come from? Government grants. Where did he get the money? How did he become $600 billion in value for Tesla? It came from the $1.5 billion worth of carbon tax credits, which means he supports a carbon tax scam. That came from the government. If you look at Twitter, where did its $50 billion valuation come from? It came from Section 230 immunity given to it by government. This guy's a government front man. And we've been calling it out. A number of the quote unquote conservative Trumpers attacked me, no different than when I called out Fauci, the liberals attacked me. Oh, who are you? What do you know about medicine? Well, I do know quite a bit, and I do know quite a bit about politics. And 2 weeks ago, or it was a week ago, Elon Musk, in your face, appoints a woman who's a chair of WEF, World Economic Forum, who's actually the group chair of the largest entertainment agency in all of Europe, okay, works with all the Hollywood elites, quote unquote, equivalent there. And this woman promoted vaccine mandates, promoted mask mandates, and that's who he appoints. We called it out again, and you can see all the grifters who are supporting Elon and attacking us, they start backpedaling, and you can see this. So the great deception that's taking place is the elites are openly telling you, we are going to fuck you up. And this is how we're going to do it. And this is what we're going to do to you. And then outside of that circle, they have all of these grifters and brainwashed idiots who actually defend the actions that they just did, because the elites have learned that in this medium called social media, the news cycle is so short. It went from months to days to microseconds right now. So they know we're going to say this and they'll forget about it. We can lie and they'll forget about it. So what do I mean by that? You know, for years, I used to be in the AI field for nearly 20 years. There's an aspect of AI called predictive analytics. Predictive analytics. What predictive analytics means is you gather enough data, training data, and then you could use that training data to predict the trajectory of any event. So they do this in marketing a lot. If I gather enough data on Jamie's buying habits, right, or James's buying habits or Anna's buying habits, like if I have all the data that when she's bought something, dates, events, I can essentially pretty much figure out what she will buy tomorrow, okay? This is why in many of the supermarket aisles, they always have they have beer next to diapers if you go see it. Because they know when a guy goes to shop, he picks up diapers, he's going to pick up a 6-pack of beer because they know these correlations. It's called predictive analytics. So the new type of censorship is through predictive analytics. So if you look at I had 500,000 viewers when they let me back on Twitter, and now it's down to around 500,000 views per day. Now it's down to maybe 10,000. Now, how did that occur? And why did they let me back on Twitter? The reason is they want to predictively analyze all of our followers because they know our movement is explosively growing, and they want to understand who are these people and can we detect future people. They want to use this as an aggregate who will also become part of the movement and give them misinformation. But their goal is to make people go upward, not go downward and build a bottoms-up movement. Does that make sense? Because the reason they're doing this is because our movement exists. If our movement didn't exist, it'd be pretty easy for them. They wouldn't have to do this kind of deception. So that's where we are. So you have the obvious establishment, which any idiot can attack. So people are like, oh my God, Elon Musk is calling out George Soros. Well, any fool could call him out. The issue is who's calling out Elon Musk. And we're the only ones doing that. Because when you just look at the evidence, this guy is wholly part of the establishment. So our movement exists, and its existence itself is historic. A movement like ours historically has never existed. And I really want people to get this, and I'll keep repeating it, because the kinds of movements that have typically existed are people who didn't understand this dynamic, or people who are part of the not so obvious establishment, okay? But because our movement exists, we have this historic opportunity, no different than fire being discovered, to really change the dynamics of the world in a very, very significant way.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Shiva Ayyadurai. Before we continue with this, I want to just remind everyone that because of the massive censorship and shadow banning that still continues on social media platforms, I'd like you to click the link to continue watching this on our own platform.